Hello, Madam Z here, and thank you for hanging out with me today. And the Atlanta. I always get that wrong because I always think of you as Lisa.
It's all right. Everybody says
Atalanta Moon.
Atlanta. I just answered everything.
Yeah, same here. Atalanta Moonfire is going to be joining us today as we sit and talk about all kinds of cool things, divination, bone throwing, where she started. She is going to be a fabulous presenter in the Witches Gathering online virtual event, November 6th through the 8th. So, if you don't know a little bit about history, how me and Atalanta met, we are old Coven sisters. So, we go way back.
Way
Way
back.
back. Way back. So, welcome and thanks for hanging out with us. So glad that you're going to be here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
you're welcome. So nice to hang out with you. It's always a pleasure for sure. So, we've got some new people, and they probably are like, who is this person? So, why don't you tell the audience who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Atalanta Moonfire, 51 years old. I've been a practicing witch since I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eclectic. I practice a little bit of everything, and right now I'm specializing mostly in hoodoo and Hecatean witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ordained. I am a high priestess of a coven called Sacred Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been practicing divination for about 26 years, started with tarot and got into the bones about 10 years ago. So that's my main thing right now, the bones.
The bones. And so you've been witching for a long time,
Yeah, long time.
way
Since I
before.
was 14-ish.
Yeah, way because I tell all my practitioners and students, I'm like, I've been witching before witching was cool, because
Yeah,
everybody wants to talk about, oh, I started off when I saw the craft, and I'm like, we started off way before then.
way before then. Yeah, I kept it hidden for a long time. I think I was probably 25 whenever I really came out. I mean, I
Yeah,
came out when I was 18 to my friends, but as far as my family, I think I was like 25 years old.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're kind of good at hiding, witchiness when we need to, for sure. And and a lot of my clients and students, in the academy and who I mentor are, coming out of the broom closet, what I call the witchy broom closet. So we can definitely relate to, trying to balance that whole muggle life and witchy life and the struggle that you have when you come out of the broom closet because it's scary.
it's very scary. It's scary, yeah. And in the South, where I
Mm.
live, it's extremely scary because it's, very, very Christian everywhere, and not a lot of Christians take. I live in a very small town here,
Mhm.
and everyone here knows I'm a witch because they come out and ask me. I had the head of Chamber of Commerce ask me if I was a witch.
Yeah.
And I said yes. And the way he asked me was hilarious. He said, "So are you a white witch?" And I kind of looked at him and I thought to myself, there's no such thing as what I thought to myself. You don't
Yeah.
have, but I didn't say that. I didn't
Right.
say that because they don't understand that. I just said, yes, that's what I am. It was so much
Yep.
easier. But now in the Chamber of Commerce, okay, now this is in a little town in Georgia. My
Uh-huh.
book and my bone kits are being presented in the welcome center. As soon as you walk in, you turn to the right because I'm a local author.
Uh-huh.
They have my stuff, yeah, being presented. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's huge.
it's everybody here knows I'm a witch. And I'm just waiting for somebody. I thought, is this a trick? Is he trying to trick me or something? Is it like burning me at the stake?
Exactly. Are they trying to lure me in?
Yeah, but
But
no, they were really nice.
that's really, significant and huge that you've actually got into like mainstream small rural, Georgia because it's tough.
Yeah, it really is. I was scared to death. But then, of course, I drive around with a tag on the front of my car that says the witch is in.
Yeah.
And I had a pharmacist ask me, he said, I hope that's not true, is it? And I said, it's more true than you can imagine. When I very first moved here, you know, and then, but like I said, the head of the Chamber of Commerce, he was so nice about it. And so everybody here knows now it's out.
Good. Cat, the black cat's out of the bag, right?
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started into witchcraft, and if there was just like one moment where you just like, this is what I need to do. This is my path. This is, you know, my craft that I want to study for the rest of my life.
Okay, so when I was around about 13, 14, well, I always knew from the time I was little that I was a little bit different. And to be honest with you, both my mother and my grandmother are witches. Well, my grandmother's deceased now, but anyway, both are witches. And they just don't like the W word, but they practice witchcraft,
Yeah.
like folk magic.
Yeah.
And I was taught folk magic from the time I can remember. And of course, I went to Christian churches and stuff like that when I was growing up. I even went to a Christian school for 4 days. I lasted 4 days at a private school, and we agreed that it wasn't the school for me.
Yeah.
So, but no, I started studying books and stuff when I was about 14. I had a girlfriend that was a witch, and she used to sneak me books. And I was like, this sounds like, you know, a lot of nature related type things, spirituality books and stuff like that. And I'm like, this kind of sounds like me. And then when I moved out of my house, I was able to explore it. And I remember the first book I ever bought was The Spiral Dance. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
familiar with that
Yeah.
book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Spiral Dance is the very first book I ever bought on craft. And as soon as I read it, it snapped. It hit it. You know, I knew that was for me. So
Yeah. It's amazing how you just find one book that you just really resonate with that's just going to catapult you, you know, into your craft. Back in the day when we first started, we didn't have a lot of books like they do now, you know, so
yeah.
they were very hard to come by.
Yeah, yeah, they were very hard to come by. I mean, I don't even remember how I got the spiral dance. I don't remember. I feel like I bought it somewhere at a
Mm-hmm.
bookstore, that it just kind of called out to me.
Correct.
But like I said, prior to that, my
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend used to sneak me books, and they were old books. This was old witchcraft stuff too, you know, like
Yeah.
really old from the 70s.
Yeah.
And that she
Scarcely
had
time
gotten
and
from
all
her
that stuff.
mother. Yeah, there was just nothing out there. And now look,
Mhm.
it's just exploded.
Yeah.
So
That's, you know,
witches
we
today are lucky.
they are. And you know, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not big on gatekeeping, but I mean, I'm kind of torn sometimes with old school witchcraft and the newbie witchcraft, and because I love that anytime you can bring fringe kind of religion or craft or whatever people think is, you know, devil worshiping out into the open and shed some light on it and show it for what it really is, I'm all for.
Mhm.
But then I see some of these other, you know, I don't want to call them baby witches or newbie witches, but you know, they are what they are, and they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and you know, they've hardly ever studied, and you know, it just, I'm like, man, you need a teacher. You need to study. It's not like you just want to wear all black and light the candle and you're all of a sudden a witch. You know, it
Yeah,
takes dedication, lifelong dedication and work. And
yeah, it does.
it does. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, you don't
Yeah,
even know what you're talking about, whatever, baby witch or whatever. And I don't want to be like that because I'm just like, yeah, we got new, you know, new witches. But sometimes
yeah.
they can run astray. So
Sometimes they can.
go ahead. Yeah.
You gotta balance it. Yeah, I've got with the coven that I have, it's kind of spread out through states. We do a lot of virtual, you know, meetings and stuff like that online. Um, and I had these two little girls, and when I say little girls, they were very young, like
Yeah.
right out of high school young. And I thought, okay, I have basically a blank slate that I can work with, and this is wonderful. Well, you
Mhm.
know, when they got in, they were all about it and everything was great, but the first thing they wanted to do was love spells and how do you
Yep.
get back at somebody? And I'm
Yep.
like, no, that's not the way this works.
Yeah.
You have got to start from the beginning. You've got to build a foundation. You've got to,
Mhm.
you know, there's reading involved, there's studying involved, there's just the simple basic things. And then, you know, that you weed a lot of people out whenever they get started, whenever you're teaching, and you know this,
Oh
when you
yeah,
start teaching somebody, you weed a lot of people out because they don't want to do the work. They just
correct.
want to have the label. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's
But
funny you
then you
said
have
that.
those others though that are great. You know, you have those others that jump in and they're like, you're like, yay, I got it. So
Yeah, they're all about it. And those are the ones that rejuvenate the old G's like us, the new
yep.
energy and stuff. And it's funny you said that because in my academy, I switched my academy. I have an online academy and I have witchy students in there. And I switched it a few weeks ago on the curriculum. It's more of like I'm doing tests now, you have homework now, you have discussions now. And people were like, oh, wait, hold up. I don't want to do this. And so they're just like, I'm out. And I'm like, I knew y'all would be out.
Yep.
and,
Yeah,
and
that's how you weed them out. I mean,
and that's okay because, you know,
that's okay.
yeah, completely okay. Because we want to work with powerful, witches who want to get their hands dirty and study and dedicate their time to it and not just think it's a fad. Because, I mean, heck, we've been doing
Right.
it for how many years? Many, many years.
Yeah, exactly.
Many, many years.
Many, many years.
So,
Yep. So you see them come and you see them go.
yeah,
But most of all, you see them come, and that's what makes it worthwhile is whenever you get that new person in and they're excited and they stay excited and they do the
yeah,
work. And then later on, you hear them talking to somebody else and that they're
yeah,
retaining that information
yeah.
and they're, relating it. Then you're like, yes,
I
I
know.
did my job, it was worth it. So,
Yeah, a lot of work goes into it. So we just love our students who are very dedicated and are sponges and just want to talk about it. And because it rejuvenates us too. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time. And you just kind of sometimes you run into that kind of funk a little bit where you kind of like leveled and you're like,
yep.
and so it's kind of an exchange of energy. We love the newbie witches because it keeps us fresh and new and exciting and bubbly and excited about doing the work. So it's an exchange. So I love all kind of enthusiastic students who are really into, and you can tell the ones who are really into
Oh,
the
yeah.
craft. Yeah, because
Yeah. You can definitely.
yeah, you get a good student and they will challenge you. They will ask some of the
I know.
most
Right?
challenge yeah, challenging questions and you're like, "Oh crap, I hadn't had that question in a long time. Let me think about it."
Let me think about that. Wait a minute.
let
Let me get
me,
back to you real quick on that.
let me research that one. So me and Atalanta had a coven together in Alabama, and we've all hived off. So I'm in Austin. Melissa's where is she at now? Ohio now?
She's in Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
Ohio
in
now.
Ohio.
So we were the
Around
three
Columbus.
OGs, the original OGs,
Yep.
and me and Atalanta used to read tarot and vend and go around selling our wares at all this cool stuff, places and stuff. So we started out doing tarot together, but now you're doing more into throwing the bones, right? So tell us a little
Right.
bit about throwing the bones and what it really is.
Okay. Yeah. So throwing the bones divination's been around for thousands of years, and we don't even know when it started, and it's from
Mhm.
all over the world. I mean, there's
Right.
like Scandinavia, you have the runes, you've got divination by scapula, over in I Ching in Asia.
Mhm.
You've got Greece and Italy. They have divination using knuckles and throwing dominoes, throwing dice. That's all throwing the bones. But what I specialize in, what my teachings are from the United States and came over basically with the slave trade.
Mhm.
So it's a combination of Native American, African, and Southern Hoodoo,
Mhm.
and it's bones, shells, and curios. So it's a mixture of all three, and basically you connect with your deities and your predominantly your ancestors,
Mhm.
and they speak through you, and that's the way it works, and it's a really good form of divination. It's not
Mhm.
real common. I'm
Correct.
trying to bring it into the mainstream. There's not a lot of information out there on it, which hence the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing now, and I've been doing it for about 9-ish, 10 years, something like that. And I've been teaching now for about 1.5 years. So
Yeah. I've taken a couple of your classes, and my students have taken a couple of the classes and really, really enjoyed the classes. So we're looking forward to that for sure. So do you get any pushback though from other people in the community when you want to bring this out into the mainstream, or is it mostly positive reactions to it?
I get from, okay, so throwing the bones is usually passed down through family and generations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's really hard to get information on it. It's
Correct.
kind of been a secretive thing. And
Yeah.
so I get a little bit of flack from some people because of that, because it's considered, and a thing that comes down through the family. The fact that I'm trying to bring an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly I've gotten positive feedback from everybody. I mean, I've only had probably out of everyone I've met, which has been quite a lot over,
Yeah.
my teachings over the last 1.5 years. Everyone that I have met, except for maybe have had 3 people that have come
Mm-hmm.
down on me a little bit about it, but everyone else has been positive. Everyone else has been excited about it. Especially when they take the class, they're like, oh yeah, and then they get addicted to it like I am.
Yeah.
You start off with 40 pieces and then all of a sudden you end up with 300 and you know
Correct.
so yeah, I've gotten a lot of positivity, a lot of good reactions out of it mostly. So
Good. Perfect. And you even have a book signing come up this weekend also. So that's exciting.
I do have it. Yeah, it's my first official live book signing. So COVID's kind of messed me up a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's my first official book signing. So
Right.
I'm excited about it. I'm pumped.
Yeah, you should be. It's a great kind of milestone in your craft, I think.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, this book is really kind of yeah, it's been a big milestone in my craft. It was something that just kind of came to me, and
Mhm.
I literally woke up and said, I think I'm going to write a book on this, because I'd been teaching the classes, and
Yeah.
I was just like frustrated because when I tried learning how to do it, there were no books out there. And then there were a couple, and then the ones that were out there weren't exactly the information that I wanted to get, and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So I just woke up one day and said, I think I'm going to write a book on this, and started doing it. And
Mhm.
things started falling into place. And now it's blown up, and I'm so
Oh,
happy about it.
wow.
So
How many have you sold?
about 300.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
getting them
that's
out
not
there.
bad because of COVID. That's not bad, because that's all through online sales
Yeah.
and stuff.
Good.
So
Perfect. So talk a little bit about the class that you're going to be sharing and doing workshops on in the event.
yeah, okay. So we're going to learn a lot about throwing the bones, divination. We're going to start off with a little bit of the history, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
touch base on it. We're going to discuss ancestral altars and how to set one up,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so important that you have an ancestral altar. It's important anyway to have one.
Yeah.
But when you're throwing the bones, it's extremely important. It's like one of the most important things besides
Mm-hmm.
your bone kit that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to discuss that. We're going to also talk about basics, like as far as putting a kit together,
Mm-hmm.
the basic pieces that you need, and we're going to go over the meanings of those pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to do some practice throws. So it should be pretty interesting. Should be good.
Yeah, I
I
think so.
also have some pieces that I'm going to share with everybody that are
Yeah.
kind of off the wall a little bit and
Oh,
interesting.
cool.
So yeah, I'm going to throw some of those out there.
Yeah, because I know that you collect.
Yeah,
How many pieces are in your bone collection?
almost
Ooh,
300 now.
300 now. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
And
that's a lot.
um, yeah, I'm an oddities junkie, just like you are, and a lot of our people who are going to be buying the VIP tickets and into the Witches Gathering. And we do have an oddities vendor that is going to be coming. But I love oddities and kind of weird stuff. I think y'all really have to, in order to be a witch. I think you have to, love kind of sometimes, the dead things, right?
Yeah, I think it comes with the territory.
Correct. But I remember when we first started, and you got me into all that, oddity stuff when we first met and started the coven together. Because I remember you would bring me. Oh, I remember you made cicada oil, and you're like, "Here, I made some cicada oil." And I was like, "Oh no, you're not anointing me with that stuff. What you doing?" She was like, "I just put some cicadas, empty cicada shells, and ground it up and put it in the oil." And I'm like, "Oh no, no thanks."
Yeah, you wouldn't let me anoint you with it.
I was like, "No, I'm good, thank you." But now I've warmed up to that stuff, and now I go around collecting empty cicada shells, and I use them in spell work. I haven't grounded them up yet, though, and
if you grind them up, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to touch them. I make hubby ground them up, or
Yeah.
grind them up, and that way I don't have to actually touch them, because I don't do bugs. But you got to use them. So if they're ground up into a powder, I'll touch the powder, but I won't touch the bug if it's if it's a whole bug. So but I touch bones all the time, and some of my bones are human bones. I don't mind touching those, but
yeah, we can't wait to see them. And I know that you've done a couple oils with dried spiders and all that cool stuff too. So you gifted me one of your snakeskin sheds for spell work, and I still have it, and I love it. So yeah, I still have it. I have all that stuff. Atalanta was the one who got me into all that, crazy oddity stuff.
Weird stuff.
I know, exactly.
All the weird stuff.
This weird stuff that we love and we can sit and talk about. But I wanted to show everybody the loot box that the VIP people are going to get. Because don't tell them what it is, but Atalanta has gifted something that all of my VIP members, ticket holders, will get in the box. And it's filled with stuff in there. So the VIP ticket holders will get this loot box actually mailed to your doorstep before the event. And Atalanta has put a little something in there for y'all that you are going to enjoy. So thank you so much for adding that to the loot box. They're going to love it.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit about what your favorite kind of magic is and what you like to do.
My favorite magic right now is hoodoo. So I do a lot of sachets, a lot of flannels, what they're called. And in jars, I do a lot of jar work.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my favorite thing right now. It's sachets and jar work. So studying Hecatean witchcraft, and I'm starting to kind of lean into that. And I'm going to be initiated in November for Keeper of the Keys. So I'm really into that right now too. So it's sort of a 50-50 balance between the two. So I'm going to doing some shadow work. I'm doing a lot of shadow work right now. And that's pretty much it for I've been so busy with keeping up with the business that I've dedicated. You have to, when you have a business, you have to dedicate time for your witchy work, for your personal work. You have to, because I got lost at first. When I first started with all this, I got lost at first, and it was all business, and I thought, I'm losing myself. So I've dedicated a couple of days a week now just to my witchy stuff. So Hoodoo and Hecatean, I know that that's really two totally different things, but that's my two favorites right now.
Yeah. Well, it is the season of the witch, right? It is the dark goddess. So Hecate is definitely coming forward for a lot of, my viewers. So embrace the shadow side of yourself. And that is the one thing about, witchcraft really is about, is self-healing. It's, self-dedication and being accountable for yourself, for sure. But this event, which is November 6th through the 8th, the Witches Gathering online event, is going to have an amazing speakers that are going to be going along with his, exactly what you're into. Hoodoo and voodoo and paranormal. I mean, remember we used to stay up at night all the time and talk about ghost stories and paranormal studies and going down to sloth furnaces and, talking about all that. You just need to move here.
I know. I do. Well, I'm coming to see you soon, so
yeah,
I'm coming to see you soon.
When all this,
I still have a ticket,
Yeah, when all this crap is over with, we need to rent an Airbnb and just have a whole witchy weekend for sure.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, it would be awesome. So, where can people reach you? They want to hang out and maybe order your book.
On the website.
Where?
Yeah, order my book. I have a copy right here. Throwing the Bones, Divination for the Modern Practitioner. So you can reach me on my website. It's www.Atalanta, which is ATALAEA, moonfire.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, but the best way to catch me is on my website. And there's tons of things on there. There's all my events that are coming up. There's obviously the book is for sale. You can get the book cheaper on my website. It's only $15.50 on my website. It comes with a free gift. And then you can get it cheaper there than you can get it like on Amazon and the other places, the other online stores. There's also magical merchandise on that website, and there's just interesting information regarding throwing bones. There's tips and tricks and just all kinds of stuff on my website. So once again, it's www.atalantamoonfire.com.
Awesome. And I'll put all the links and stuff into all of your social media stuff in the comment section.
Okay, great.
So, all you got to do is click on the link and it'll take you there. So before I let you go and have to say goodbye, which I hate to say goodbye because we could talk forever, what is the most important thing that you're doing right now and that you're crushing on? Like a podcast, a movie, a book, or like a witchy public figure? Or who are you just really digging on?
I'm the Hecataean Keeper of the Keys is what that's what I'm really into right now. And that's the book that I'm studying. And that is what I'm dedicating like every single night to. It's something that you have to work on, it's a daily practice. So that's my thing right now, because, like I said, I'm going to be initiated in November. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm focusing on that and nothing else at the moment, except for the business.
Yeah. I know. Well, it is, this, like I keep saying, it's the season of the witch, but we're from now, and I tell my my students and my people in my Facebook group from now until like January, February, because we have to do the love season too, right? We're gonna be hella slammed. We're busy. This is where the busy season is for us right now.
Yeah, it's constant. I'm getting so many phone calls and stuff like that right now for work and for helping people with work. My students right now are just like energized and they're full of questions, and it's like all of a sudden the energy has shifted, and just in a good way. COVID brought a lot of people down, and it's like the season of the witch. Everybody is just re-energized and coming out, and just it's fantastic. So
I love it.
Keeping busy.
I know. I'm excited for it. Originally, this was going to be just a small event in person in New Orleans. And now with COVID, we had to shift. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise now that I can bring, more magic to more people. And, like you, who can introduce, people to throwing the bones, where if they live in, rural Alabama or rural, Montana, they're like, what is throwing the bones? I don't even know what this is. It's a chance for all of us to gather in one sacred space. And we're all it's the whole thing, like, where the weirdos will be hanging out at, and we'll be, talking about bones and spirits and hoodoo and voodoo and spell work. And so it's going to be an amazing event. The tickets are available now. Get them at the pre-sale now because the prices will be going up. The loot boxes are limited. So once they are gone, they are gone. Lots of goodies in here. So if you see at the bottom, it's kind of like ticking by right at the bottom of your screen. That is the link to purchase your tickets. The link is going to be in the comments. And Atalanta is going to be teaching us how to throw the bones. It's going to be an amazing class. And she's going to be there to answer all your questions. It's going to be very interactive. And you get to actually, maybe order some books. Maybe she'll sign a book and send it to you. So
be happy to.
Yeah, awesome. All right, my witchy sister, thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you at the event November 6th through the 8th at the Witches Gathering virtual event.
Thank you so much. Mwah.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.